Oh, we've all been there, right? That sudden, awful, twisting feeling in your gut. You feel terrible, and your brain just starts scrambling, trying to figure out what did this to you. Was it that takeout from last night? Did you touch something weird? Or is this something else entirely? Well, today, we're going to play detective and get to the bottom of it. So that's the big question, isn't it? You've got a case of what doctors call gastroenteritis, which is just a fancy way of saying your gut is seriously inflamed. But what's the real cause? And figuring it out isn't just for fun. It actually matters for how you get better and, whether you're about to take down the entire household with you. And right off the bat, here's what makes this so darn tricky. Just look at the symptoms: nausea, cramps, diarrhea, vomiting. These are the calling cards for pretty much all of our suspects. The clues are almost identical, which is why it's so hard to figure out what's going on. So we've got to dig a little deeper.
Okay, let's start with suspect number 1, food poisoning. This is the one everybody immediately blames. You eat something, and a little while later, you get sick. Seems pretty straightforward, doesn't it? Well, turns out it's a little more complicated than that.
See, here's the thing. Food poisoning isn't just about some undercooked chicken. Sure, it can be caused by bacteria, but it can also come from the toxins those bacteria produce, or even from chemicals, like pesticides on vegetables you didn't wash well enough. Think about it. Poisonous mushrooms or that infamous puffer fish, yep, that's technically food poisoning too. And just to put this into perspective, in a country like Australia, there are about 5.4 million cases of gastroenteritis every single year. That's a massive number. And almost every time, people's first instinct is to blame something they ate. But here's the big twist in our case. About 2/3 of the time, it isn't the food. We're so quick to blame that chicken sandwich, but very often, the real culprit was a contaminated doorknob or just getting too close to someone who was already sick. The plot thickens, which leads us right to our next suspect. All right, let's open the file on suspect number 2. The dreaded stomach bug. Now, you've probably heard people call it the stomach flu, but I'm here to tell you that's just plain wrong. This guy is a master of misery, all on its own. The real villain of the story is usually a nasty little thing called norovirus. And let's be super clear, this has absolutely nothing to do with the influenza virus that gives you a cough and a sore throat. This is a gut-specific virus. It's everywhere, and the worst part, having it once doesn't make you immune. Oh yes, you can get it again and again. And when I say it spreads, I mean it spreads. It is unbelievably contagious. You can pick it up from a doorknob, from sharing a drink, or from food made by someone who's sick, even if they've washed their hands. This is exactly why when one person in the family gets it, it usually rips through the entire house like wildfire. Okay, so we've looked at contaminated food, we've looked at contagious viruses, but what if the culprit isn't some outside invader at all? What if it's already sitting in your medicine cabinet? Let's introduce our third and often totally overlooked suspect. Now, this one is a real game changer. It's totally possible your gut problems aren't an illness you caught at all, but a direct side effect of a medicine you're taking. The drug itself is what's messing with your digestive system, creating symptoms that feel exactly like food poisoning or a stomach bug. And the list of potential culprits is pretty long, and it includes some super common drugs. Take those popular GLP-1 drugs like Ozempic. They literally work by slowing down digestion. So yeah, nausea is a huge side effect. But even something simple like ibuprofen can irritate your gut lining. And we all know the chaos that antibiotics can cause in there. Okay, detective, we have our 3 main suspects lined up: the food, the bug, and the drug. So how in the world do you figure out which one is behind your specific case? Well, it turns out it all comes down to one single critical clue that's more revealing than anything else. And here it is. This is the smoking gun. Timing. That's it. How quickly your symptoms show up after you were exposed is the most powerful piece of evidence you have. This one detail can unlock the entire mystery. So let's break down this timeline. If you get violently ill super fast, like within 30 minutes to maybe 6 hours after eating, that's screaming toxin from food poisoning. But if it takes a day, maybe 2 or 3 for the misery to finally hit you, that is the classic signature of a viral bug, like norovirus. And believe it or not, some bacteria, like Listeria, can take days or even weeks to show up. Now, if your symptoms are just kind of always there, lingering day after day, that's a huge red flag pointing straight at your medication. So let's put this all together in one place. It makes it so clear. Food poisoning, it's fast, it's usually over in less than 24 hours, and you can't give it to anyone else. A stomach bug, the onset is delayed, it hangs around for 2 or 3 days, and yes, it's insanely contagious. And medication side effects, they tend to be gradual or ongoing, last as long as you take the drug, and nope, not contagious at all. Now, no matter who the culprit is, your first response recovery plan is pretty much the same. And priority number 1, I can't stress this enough, is hydration. Getting dehydrated is the real danger. So sip water constantly, suck on ice chips, whatever you can manage. Let your body rest, and when you finally feel like you can eat again, stick to really bland foods like rice and bananas. And hey, if you even suspect it might be a virus, please be a hero, wash your hands like a surgeon, and clean surfaces to protect everyone around you. So the next time your stomach decides to rebel, don't just automatically blame the last thing you ate. Put on your detective hat. Think about the timing. Consider if anyone else you know is sick. Take a look at your medicine cabinet. You've got the clues now. You have everything you need to crack the case. The only question left is, are you listening to what your gut is telling you?